Your brother's doing it.
Pretty good, how are
So if we can get some sunshine to beat on this. I have enjoyed it's more that's the only place I have. Still.
Some of them say get a civil engineering degree. Well, civil engineering.
So.
Where did you go to school?
They don't have.
I was just gonna say, I was reading about that. And now they only have a minor in some places. Okay. I'm not getting with that. Oh. Are you saying? Let me know if you have any next couple of years.
Really open.
Yeah.
I thoroughly.
Because I think they have a minor.
Just main campus.
Maybe.
Because they
We both know how this is gonna go.
They don't have it at PW. I just don't want to do it. If you really wanted to. Civil engineering.
Yes.
And then, because he doesn't really want to go there.
Yeah, not yet.
Need to step down for a second, but you got it.
It
is set.
I will call the May 21st Noble County Planning Commission meeting to order. We have a quorum, 8 members present. We will work through the agenda this evening with the consideration, first the consideration of the minutes. You should have all received those by email and also in hard copy. Hopefully you reviewed those. Once you have, please, I would like to have a motion unless there's alterations. If there are, provide the alterations or additions or corrections. And then a motion for approval followed by someone with a second. Oh, that'd probably be a good idea. I apologize. It's okay. Do a roll call first. Sir.
Anita Hess,
Here.
Glenn Lemon,
Here.
Ann Klein, Mary Weissong, Randy Sexton,
Here.
Tom Griffiths,
Here.
Patty Gatman.
Here.
Sarah Reagan. Here. Jeff Cunningham.
Here.
I apologize for that. I looked around and saw and counted the 8, and that's why I moved ahead. So we will have the consideration of the minutes at this time.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Been moved by Anita Hess, seconded by Ann Klein. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Do we have any unfinished business?
No, sir.
Okay, we will proceed with our first petition. The way the process will work is that the petitioner will be called to the table, the legal will be presented. One person may speak at a time. All conversations are to be directed to the board, not to the audience. Please try to keep it as quiet as possible because we do have the mics on and we do have a live feed. of tonight's meeting. At that point in time, the staff will be asked for their report, followed by the petitioner having 20 minutes to present their case. After that, the remonstrants will have 20 minutes as a whole to respond accordingly. After that, the petitioner will be called back to the table to provide a response for 5 minutes in a rebuttal. And then there will be questions that the board will provide, and those will not go against your time. So with that, we will start down through. We have 3 items this evening before we go into the reports. The first one is rezoning number 597, Jeffrey D. and Jan L. Cunningham. And before I start with that and the representative come forward, I will ask if there are any members on the board that feel it necessary to disqualify themselves for this hearing.
Yes, I do, Jeff Cunningham.
Any others?
Yes. Well, I appreciate everyone's concern about my ability to internally differentiate whether I have a conflict of interest or not. It's actually somewhat insulting. I know what a conflict of interest is. Well, I have absolutely no animosity for the operating company or family in general.
I think at this point,
579, there's a member of that family who's currently has a lawsuit with the Noble County Commission.
if you're disqualifying yourself, you need to remove yourself from the room at this time. Thank you.
The disdain for that individual makes it unable for me to render a decision. I'm biased.
Thank you. Will the petitioner for this rezoning come forward? In accordance with the Noble County Unified Development Ordinance, Article 9.22, requests a zoning map amendment to rezone 92.617 plus or minus acres from A1 to I1 to allow for the I1 permitted use of sand and gravel mining. The real estate is located in section 32 of Elkhart Township, quadrant 400, parcel 005, common location known as north and east of 6630 north, 525 west, Milwaukee, Indiana. Final consideration will be by the Noble County Commissioners on May 27th of this year at 10:30 in this building upstairs in the Commissioners' room. At this point in time, I would ask for the staff report.
Review of the comprehensive plan, I refer board members to page 50 of the comprehensive plan and 63. Also, we discussed submitted findings of fact based on site visit and the findings of fact that the soil maps were added. The ground is very soily and very hilly. Current conditions and character of structures in each district. This development will be on a 90-acre parcel. For the most part, will sit most of it deep into the tract. And the most desirable use for which the land in each district is adapted. The findings noted that the terrain was steep. Staff agrees. The site is over 90 acres, located just about a half a mile south of State Road 6. And regarding the site distance for the driveway, per tech review, NDOT had no comment, and the Noble County Highway Department noted that it provided adequate site distance for the drive. Conservation of property values, operation is suited on a parcel that's over 90 acres with a wash plant located within the property. And according to the submitted site plan, the scale house will be positioned directly north of the current property owner's residence and further east beyond the home site that is sitting up against the road. I believe according to the site plan, there was a tree buffer line added. And then with responsible growth and development, if you look at the UDO pages 2-4, I've added that to the PowerPoint tonight. My only thoughts, personal opinion, part of my job was to adhere to maybe the board agreeing that appropriate measures are protected for the neighboring property owner. There's one that's gonna be closely directly affected by the road, and outside of that, the Elkhart River. And I think on their site plan, which I think Ryan will show you as we move through, will show how they're handling those situations.
Anything else? Okay, the petitioner would state their name for the record. You have 20 minutes to present your project.
Ryan Weber with Lakewood Surveying, representing the Cunninghams.
Rock Pulver with Pulver Asphalt, Wolf Lake Gravel, representing Wolf Lake Gravel.
One of the things I wanted to note real quick that I thought I heard in your brief narrative, Randy, was you said I-1, and I believe it should be to HI. I just wanted to make sure that was on there.
HI.
That is correct.
Thank you. My name is Ryan Weber with Lakewood Surveying. I'm representing the Cunninghams in regards to this rezoning request. The petitioners would like to have a joint venture in assisting in getting a gravel pit started back in this area. There is very gravelly mixes that will be adequate for this project there. The steep terrains that are currently there present a challenge when it comes to being good prime architectural farmland with that, and it is about a half mile south of US 6, and we feel that it is a pretty good adequate place for this type of operation. And speaking with the Cunninghams, I believe the Cunninghams have spoke with a few of the neighbors since we had submitted this and did some of these proposed things like the landscaping buffer to the north. I believe the neighbor, and I'll let the neighbors speak for themselves, but I wanted to note that one of the things that we had heard was that he did not want any trees there. He just preferred it not to be that way. So I will leave them to speak on their behalf in regards to that, but I just wanted to make the mention of that on record. That is one of the criteria that we had previously put on the site plan that that adjoining neighbor might not want to see. We feel that the areas of the proposed location are off the road quite a bit where they will minimalize the impacts to the area for this HI impact. A couple of the conditions that we're concerned about, speaking with some of the neighbors and what we were preliminarily addressing was making sure that truck traffic made its way towards US 6 and not left down the hill towards Diamond Lake Road. We're trying to address that by putting signs up on site and making sure that they try to abide by those signs and not turn left. And if they fail to do so, that will be tried to dealt with on a private level. If it's a recommendation of the board to make it at a public level with street signs from the county highway, there'll be a process that we would have to go through at that time for that. With that, I don't think I have anything further other than questions and other comments by Mr. Pope.
The other, I think, would be concern would be dust created. The primary method for handling that would be water, the water truck on a regular basis. Outside of that, I don't have any other comments at this time.
I'll
I have a question. I know that you have a pit up in Wolf Lake.
Correct.
And is this just an expansion? Is this just an add-on? Tell me how this relates.
It'd be another location for Wolf Lake Gravel. I mentioned Pulver Asphalt. Wolf Lake Gravel is another company of ours.
Right.
It will just be a second location. The location at Wolf Lake, I don't think it has, it will eventually be running out of material to mine, so we need to find another location.
Sure. Can you explain that? Because I don't know anything about gravel pits. Can you talk about the longevity of a gravel pit based on the size?
Sure, you can't really say, hey, 10 acres is gonna last a year. You can't say that. Depends on the depth, depends on a lot of different factors. Depends on how much you sell, depends on how much, just a lot of different things. So, as far as longevity goes, you know, if you've got 10 acres of flat ground, there's not gonna be as much gravel as if you have 10 acres of a hill that's 100 feet tall. So that hill could be all gravel, and you could have gravel below the, you know, even further down. So it's hard to say as far as the longevity, but it's basically, I think the correct term would be an expansion, just to make sure that we don't run out of material in the future. So
How long have you been at Wolf Lake?
I didn't look that, I think 6 years.
Okay,
maybe?
and what's your acreage there?
There's, I believe, about 30 acres of ground that is suitable for mining.
Thank you.
How much of this is suitable for mining?
From what we drilled, we think the majority of it is. I guess I can't put an exact number on it, but of the 92 acres that's there, almost all of it.
With an emphasis on the back half.
Correct.
And can I ask a quick question about that? How do you determine that based on 92 acres?
So, yeah, we took, we did drilling, basically drilled down X number of feet, different locations, and basically just said, all right, we've got gravel down X number of feet here, X number of feet here. That's the primary way to determine, this being a hill the way it is, most of it is gonna be gravel, just basically, if you just look at the land, look at the topo, it's just, yeah, you can pretty much tell. What we did, I think, maybe 15 different locations that we drilled, and there was gravel in each location, so.
Thank you.
How deep did you drill?
It varied, some 20 feet, I think, so we went down like 60 feet some areas.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience that wants to speak for this petition? Having heard none, then we will have those that want to speak.
Get some stand.
Do we have someone?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Come forward, speak your name and address for the record.
Logan Hicks. I am 6822 North, 525 West. I'm the adjoining house. I just wanted to clarify the trees going in. I did not know whether they were gonna be on my property or Jeff's property, so I didn't say yes to it or no to it. I do not want them on my property because I do not want to maintain them. I don't want them anywhere near my property. Now, if Jeff puts them on his property, I'd be fine with that. Another thing is, I have beehives at my house. And I was told they're going to put settling ponds in, the wash plant they're putting up. So I know they use chemicals in those settling ponds, and my bees, if they go back there and they get into those settling ponds, I'm afraid that they may bring it back to the hive and destroy my hives that I have at my home. Another thing is, I was told they may drill a well, and I'm afraid of the water table on our wells being destroyed or chemicals being polluted into our wells. Cause I know some of our neighbors, or my neighbor, only has a shallow well, and are they going to suck his well dry or my well dry? I also have a 4-year-old daughter, that loves to play outside. I do, in fact, fear for her safety and my privacy. I know that when they do put the trees in, they may only be a few feet tall at the time, and it may take, 15 years for those trees to grow up, so my privacy will always be intruded by the trucks until those trees get big enough. I think that's pretty much all I have to say about that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who wants to speak in favor of this petition? Having seen no one, those who want to speak against the petition, we have an aggregate of 20 minutes. So please keep that in mind as you come forward to speak. Provide your name and address into the microphone. Go ahead.
Ann, do you have any insight into some of the things you talked about with the beehives and things like that? Do you have any knowledge about that?
I don't know, one of my follow-up questions will be asking about what chemicals,
Okay, thank you.
I think. Not off the top of my head, do I understand?
Thanks.
Good evening.
Scott Bound, 6299 North, 525 West. I don't actually oppose the operation. My main concern is the truck traffic, keeping it routed north. If it's a private signage, that's not enforceable. Anyone can post any sign they want, and there's not a lot you can do about it. I would, if it does happen, I would strongly suggest for the county to take that, post the signage so it is enforceable. I don't know how many of you are familiar with it or not, but it's a pretty steep grade going to the south, and it's a T road that goes right into residential. And it's also lake area. That's my main concern with it. For me, it's dust and noise isn't going to do much. Underneath the HI-1, what else is permissible? I should have researched.
I haven't.
What
I
else is permissible in that?